Coach, first your thoughts on the game as a whole.
I thought it was an awful hockey game. I thought we, with our season being on the line, with a chance to play for home ice, with us being at home, I thought we gave an absolutely terrible effort. I thought our focus and attention to detail was terrible, and that starts with me. It's my job. A week ago, with the very same lineup, you know, people want to make excuses and say, well, this guy's out, that guy's out, this guy's out, but with the same lineup, we were able to play a tremendous hockey game, 60 minutes of hockey at Bowling Green, and tonight it was just too much for us to bring it 2 nights in a row. So that's on me. It's my job to have the team ready, and I'm disappointed. I'm severely disappointed. We don't have a single player that's sitting out that's going to come in the lineup tomorrow. You know, we're at our numbers, so we really need the guys that are playing to be totally attentive and totally focused on the job at hand, and to at this stage of the year especially, to know what needs to be done. And we were so out of sync tonight with lack of support, lack of compete, lack of strength on the puck, lack of forechecking responsibility, lack of neutral zone cover. The goals that went in were just total team breakdowns, and it shouldn't happen at this time of the year.
You guys were up 1, and then we've seen several times this year unable to maintain the lead. How do you correct that going forward, or what happened?
You know, I've been saying this from day one. The problem with our team is the lack of willingness to hold each other accountable. The innate acceptance to be mediocre or less. We lack a champion attitude, and I think tonight we had guys that normally push back and fight a little bit harder for us, that are growing in what we want to do. They seem to go the other way a little bit and take that soft road because it was the easiest thing to do tonight. Again, our guys know the responsibilities, they know what to do. Last weekend, our attention to detail, our snap to coverage, our play in transition, our support, our second man on the puck was absolutely outstanding. Tonight it was non-existent. So, you know, we scored early. We thought, here we go, but that was just a happen chance, because, and I didn't think, I give Bemidji credit for their effort, but they weren't, I mean, they weren't all, you know, they weren't anything that I'd write home about. That you know, they're a 30th team in the pairwise and or whatever, and you know, we were at home. It should have been a better hockey game. I didn't feel it was that good of a hockey game. You know, I didn't feel we exerted our will at all, and when we did, our best shifts came from you know, not you know, where we want it certainly, but we need consistent shift after shift effort with big points on the line from a lot of different guys. And if they would have, if we would have gotten execution, if we would have again gotten internal accountability, we would have at least been able to have some pushback. More than 5 shots in the third period. I don't even know if we generated a scoring chance in the third period with the you know, a big part of the season on the line.
You lose Ock in the first period. How much of this might have been just simply being, you know, as short as you are now on numbers, and to lose him at that point in the game?
No excuses. There's no excuses. I'm not concerned about who wasn't playing. I'm concerned about who was playing and how they executed. Their willingness to I mean, if you look at the third goal, we were perfectly set up for neutral zone D. They chipped it up the wall, and everybody scattered, and they walked right in on a bad angle and scored. I mean, they went through numbers. Everything was. I mean, that was just a telltale of where we're at. There's no. Our guys worked hard. They worked really hard. But when family goes through tough times, through crisis, they pull together. You know, they pull together, and if there's someone that's creating stress within the family structure, in a good strong family, they pull that person in and they reel them in and they get them on board. We're having difficulty doing that. A lot of guys just want to get, like that first goal, just easy points, a quick little pass, a quick little shot early in the game, and You know, it wasn't. I didn't think it was a tremendously difficult game, and it's certainly one that if we would have competed harder, we could have pushed back a little bit more.
Robbie had some good moments and some not so good moments. What'd you think of his performance?
He was average. He was average. He wasn't the reason we lost, though. I don't fault Robbie on it. You know, I don't fault him on it. But he was average in the game, I think.
How frustrating is it to see that they got 3 goals from their fourth line?
that about says it. I said the same thing on the bench to the coaches. You know, they're you know, it tells you what it is. That it was a character performance by them. They didn't have Brendan Harris in the lineup. It was a character performance by them, and it was a very disappointing, individualized effort on our part. And we have to resolve that in some fashion at some point. And this is nothing new. We've been talking about this from day one. You know, people don't like to hear it. You know, but it's reality. It's where we're at. It's, you know, we relied on a lot of guys that carried us through these tough times, and we need other guys to step up and carry us through those tough times. And again, that's on me. The coaches have to be the leaders, and the coaches' voices can get old, so we have to be very careful in that regard. But we have to find a way to get the absolute most dedicated effort out of our hockey team, and you know, it's in there. It's in that locker room. It's in that locker room to be able to perform. You know, the goals that went in tonight, the play that we had was too easy. It shouldn't be those easy, soft giveaways. Those guys circling away, the lack of back pressure on the puck, with a very young inexperienced D in there, the lack of back pressure on the puck to help them out, that shouldn't be present in the game. And when you can't get that energized, enthusiastic effort, again, I take full responsibility for that. I'm not gonna blame them. It's my job to find a way to find accountability within the group to build it. You know what I mean? And last week, Bowling Green provided that for us. Joe Shawhan didn't provide it. Bowling Green provided it by a good butt whipping on Friday night. And so some guys thought, okay, enough's enough. But that lasted one night. So, you know, we've got to find a way, somehow, some way, to, at some point, maybe this year, maybe next, maybe the year after, to rebuild an accountable culture base here, where there's great push from underneath, and guys earnestly not wanting and yearning not to let the group, the university, this great university, it's a privilege to wear the jersey. It's a privilege to play in this community for such hardworking people. It's our job not to let them down and give them our best performance.